Hello, friends. This recording will be part one of the book, Unnecessary Chaos. This book is going to be a little bit different from typical audiobooks, as it will have live commentaries from me as I'm reading it, and it will also have live channeling with the divine. So we're just going to let the divine flow as I read, and if words, come out or premonitions come out, we're just going to allow that to flow. So that's how this is going to go. Okay, all the acknowledgments of this book go to the divine. I give all gratitude and love to the divine with all of my heart and soul. Chapter 1, The Vision. On June 15th, 2019, late in the afternoon, I began receiving a psychic vision. It came to me in an unusual way, so unusual that it was only the second time in my life that I had ever received a vision in that type of format. The vision came to me as a multifaceted, multidimensional cube that was continuously moving in all directions as if it were living and breathing, yet at the same time quietly still. I was able to view the vision from many different angles and different aspects. I was able to view it from outside looking in, from above looking downward, and from within looking and feeling and experiencing all aspects of everything involved and evolved. The vision shown to me on that day and for the days that followed until its completion on the morning of June 20th, 2019, was of the future of humanity. After the vision had concluded, I received a strong spiritual guidance that I was to document the entirety of the vision in intricate detail and publish it. The following pages is a factual record of everything that I observed, everything that was spoken to me, and everything that I experienced during those 5 extraordinary days. For those of you who may not understand or are familiar with receiving visions or how they may come to you or what the experience may feel like, I'm going to share my experience with you in great detail. And I do this because some of you may be having some of these sensations and not realizing that you may be experiencing a premonition or a vision or divine words being downloaded to you. So that's why I'm including this part in the book. During the ascension process that the collective is going through currently, your spiritual gifts will begin to become more evident if you haven't noticed them before, and more prominent for those who have already awakened to their gifts and abilities. My intention is that through sharing my experience, you may recognize and open yourself to all of the supernatural power that resides within you and receive all that is divinely yours. Whenever I'm about to receive a profound and distinct psychic vision, I always feel a strong sense of oneness with all that is, and I feel very centered within, typically hours prior to its initiation. And on June 15th, 2019, it was no different. At least that's what I thought initially. I began feeling a churning in my solar plexus that morning as if I had butterflies swarming all around in my stomach. I felt an acute awareness and a sense of something brewing all around me like an electrical charge that was ramping up. I knew that I would be receiving divine information of some sort that day, whether it be a knowing, a download, or a vision. So as I usually do, I began preparing for its arrival. It's a bit difficult to explain exactly what it is that I do to prepare, as it is more of an internal preparation than an external one. but it would be best described as fully aligning with my higher self, God consciousness, on all levels, and then remaining in a conscious state of openness and receptivity. Just prior to and at the commencement of a vision, I can physically feel a shift within that takes place. My demeanor becomes quite serious, and I feel a razor-sharp beam of focus, the likes of that of an arrow hitting the bullseye of a target. It is at that point that I seamlessly enter into a transcendental, conscious meditative state where the vision begins to unfold. When the vision began, I was a bit startled, yet deeply in tune as it came before me in a multifaceted, multi-dimensional cube. As I stated earlier, this was the second time in my life that I had received a vision in this way. I felt a strong connection to the vision, as if we were one, and I was experiencing a different aspect of myself and of everything around me, yet at the same time I was witnessing the unfoldment of it outside of myself as an observer. During a vision, all of your senses, both psychic and physical, become extrasensory and extrasensitive, but all of your senses are experienced simultaneously as one. Although I have never experienced the drug ecstasy, from everything that I've read about it, I would say that ecstasy times 10 is the closest to what one feels while experiencing a vision compared to how one feels in our typical human life experiences. Keep that in mind while I describe how I encountered and experienced the vision, so that you may have the ability to understand on a level beyond physical human senses and comprehension. As with all visions, communication is not like that of a human physical conversation. Communication in the spirit realm is exchanged as an internal language, an internal knowing and receiving, for lack of better words. You are able to comprehend with a much deeper, multi-level understanding through the communication of spiritual internal language than you are of human spoken language. At least that's how I feel about it. And I prefer the language of energy. Throughout the duration that I received the vision, I had random periods of downtime to begin processing what I was being shown, what I was experiencing, and what was being spoken to me. I had intervals of sleep, however, not for any lengthy preferred amount of time, and would then be abruptly woken up and the vision would begin again. This routine continued for the extent of 5 days. During the periods of downtime, I recorded handwritten notes on torn pieces of paper, a plethora of post-it notes, and the blank back of mail envelopes I received, and notebook paper until I had everything documented. Wherever I was at in the house at different times during those 5 days, I just grabbed whatever I could find at the moment to write on. As unorganized as all the notes were being scattered around my bedroom, dining room table, and kitchen, I was confident that I had recorded all that was given to me, less a few important pieces that I felt was best to keep only documented in my memory for the time being. I tend to be very protective over what I receive through visions and only release what I'm guided to release, and only when I am guided to do so. Some of the information that I received in the vision during my downtime, I had a difficult time wrapping my human brain around it. Some of it seemed so inconceivable at this present time in humanity. However, as the days unfolded after the vision concluded, I began to understand it more with my human mind and was able to find it not only plausible, but absolutely undeniable. As I shared in the beginning, this was a vision I was strongly guided to release in its full context and publicly. The words that precede will describe everything that was divinely given to me, both visually and through the internal language of energy, as well as experientially, to the best of my ability. And this concludes part 1. I'm sending you much love, much blessings, much light, and a lot of activation energy.